how I watch, wishing she could be here now. And sometimes when I'm lonely, I remember she can see there's holes in the floor of heaven, and she's watching over you and me. Well, my little girl's 23. Walk her down the aisle. It's a shame her mom can't be here now to see her lovely smile. Play through the rise, I catch her eye as the rain starts coming down. She takes my hand, says, "Daddy, don't be sad, 'cause I know Mama's watching now." And there's holes in the floor of heaven, and her tears are pouring down. That's how you know she's watching, wishing she could be here now. Sometimes when you're alone, just remember she can see there's holes in, and she's watching over you and me. Watching over you and me. She's watching over you and me. She's watching over you and me. I know, only you know, weren't afraid, pain, or no strength. No, on you were down, go to the down, the body part, and oh, how I gather breath, you bring. I could see you They go to oh, there's no you. The Just getting home. They let me know you were gone. And the plans they made were in. Walked out this morning and I wrote down this song. Just can't remember who it's in. I've seen fire and I've seen rain. I've seen sunny days that I thought would never end. I've seen lonely times when I could not find a friend. But I always thought that I'd see you. Look down upon me, Jesus. You gotta help me make a stand. Just got to see me through another day. My body's aching and my time is at hand. I won't make it any other way. Oh, I've seen flowers, I've seen rain, seen sunny days that I thought would never end. I've seen lonely times when I could not find a friend, but I always thought that I'd see you. time, our back turned towards the sun. Lord knows when the cold wind blows, it'll turn your head around. Burns out time on the telephone line to talk about things to come. Sweet dreams and flying scenes in pieces all around. Oh, I see fires, I see rain. Seen sunny days that I thought would never end. I've seen lonely times when I could not find a friend. But I always thought that I'd see you, baby, one more time again. Thought I'd see you one more time again. There's just a few things coming my way this time around. Thought I'd see you, thought I'd see you.
Didn't know you'd be your last, that I'd have to say goodbye to you so fast. I'm so numb, I can't feel anymore. Praying you just walk back to that door and tell me that I was only dreaming. You're not really gone as long as I believe. There will be another angel around the throne tonight. Love lives on inside me, and I will hold on tight. It's not my place to question, only God knows why. I'm just jealous of the angel around the throne tonight. Please make my troubles feel so small. You will always catch me when I fall. In a world where heroes come and go, where God just took the only one I know. So I'll hold you as close as I can, longing for the day when I see your face again. But until God must need another angel around the throne tonight. Love lives on inside me, and I will hold on tight. It's not my place to question, only God knows what.
When we been there in years, bright shining as the sun, we know to sing God's praise. And when we go, to the living, I am gone. To the sorrowful, I will never return. And to the angry, I was cheated. But to the happy, I am at peace. And to the I cannot speak, but I can listen. I cannot be seen, but I can be heard. So as you stand in a vast forest gazing at the stars, remember me. Remember me in your heart and in your thoughts, the memories of the times we loved, the memories of the times we shared. For if you always think of me, I will have never gone. Welcome. My name is Dale Clock, and I'm honored to be the funeral celebrant at our time together remembering Virginia. We come here today with full hearts and numb minds. There are few words to express the pain and the sadness that surrounds us, and the only way to survive such an onslaught of the incomprehensible is to know that an even bigger halo of love and support and understanding and memories is circling the wall of grief and will sustain you and buffer you from being engulfed. We all come here today to stand with Virginia's family, her children, Stephen and Hope, Colleen, Daniel, Scott, Rex, Richard, daughter-in-law, Chris, grandchildren, Christine, Brayton, Steve, Season, Michael, Michelle, Stephanie, Victoria, Jemmy, Jennifer, Daniel, Robert, Sarah, Kristen, and 19 great-grandchildren, and I won't read all their names, and 7 great-great-grandchildren, and her brother, Ken. We come here to bear witness to all of your loss and your grief. You know, the unspeakable became the unthinkable last week, and now all of you have holes in your lives because she is gone. We say to you that we are willing companions on your journey of grief, and we all pledge to be there when the travels become too much. On behalf of the family, I want to thank all of you for being here at this important moment. You, in your own special way, and in return, you are here to bear witness to the impact that she had on you. Your presence here today helps the family to begin the process of turning those tears into memories. Today is Virginia's Day. We will stop and hear the stories of her life, exuberant nature, her love of people, her determined spirit, to hear the music of her heart. We are here to laugh and to cry together, to celebrate her strength, her courage, her kindness, and her care. You are here to acknowledge that Virginia left a handprint on your heart and express the gratitude that she made a difference in this world. So let us stand. Let us begin with a moment of silence to clear away the concerns of the day, to focus our thoughts and our minds and on the memories of Virginia, followed by a prayer. Dear God of broken hearts, we come today in disbelief that this wonderful lady is no longer a part of our lives. Virginia, the beloved wife, mother, sister, friend, was such a vibrant part of your world, and we are at a loss to see how we can fill that void. Be with each person here today as they seek comfort in memories, in hope, and in faith. Hold their hands and dry their tears in your own good time. We ask for your blessing, your calming spirit, and your promise of peace for her family, that we thank you for the life of Virginia. She was one of your special ones, and each one here considers themselves lucky that they had a part of her stay here on earth. Thank you for her time, for the woman, and for your love. Amen. If there's anything that I've learned in my 35 plus years of funeral service, is that the gathering together of people and the sharing of stories. Stories of love and memories and respect and honor. We gather together because we as human beings, we need that contact, that emotional connection that we get when we're together. We gather together at happy times and at sad times. We gather at births and graduations and weddings and anniversaries and at deaths. We gather to worship, to praise, to celebrate, and to mourn. And at every one of those gatherings, we tell stories, and it's through those stories that we heal and grow and show our love. Because when we gather together and share the stories and celebrate a life, it helps heal our heart. So today we're going to share some stories, and I'm not going to follow along with the order of service quite like it is, but close enough. So what I'd like to do today to start is to read her obituary and then give you some time to gather your thoughts, and we're going to do a little sharing, and I'm going to invite people up to do that. And so if you want to do that, I want you to kind of put your mind together now. And even though you may have read this obituary, every good story is worth telling a couple of times. So let me go through this. Virginia Carolyn Sieradzki, age 99, passed away on Thursday, November 2nd, 2023, surrounded by her loving family. She was born 18th, 1923, to William and Dorothy Hallstrom Toller, and married her high school sweetheart, Stephen Henry Sieradzki, on August 16th, 1946. Steve had been a paratrooper in the South Pacific, and after their marriage, they went to Michigan State University, where Steve was the starting halfback on the football team. They moved to New York City because Steve actually had a baseball and a football contract with the New York Yankees. And in her early years, Ginny was a drum majorette, a model. She won the Valentine Queen at the Occidental Hotel even. She worked as a car hub gal at Bastrom's Pharmacy. Kind of a Rosie the Riveter when she worked at Seal Power. Got married. She shop, Hallmark cards at Walmart. She then became a full-time mother and homemaker to her family of 9 children. After her husband's shocking death at the age of 44, she continued devoting her life to her kids, including Carolyn, who had cerebral palsy and epilepsy. She would frequently load up all the kids in her station wagon and visit attractions like Deer Park or even go all the way to Florida. Virginia was a former member at St. Paul's Episcopal Church where they got married, and she enjoyed bowling and bingo and picture taking. Later in life, Ginny enjoyed nothing more than spending time with her grandkids. She learned to play the banjo, even took belly dancing lessons and calligraphy classes. She was a giver, always there for people, and was loved by all who were blessed to meet her. At this time, I'd like to play a song that the family has requested, When Irish Eyes Are Smiling.
When Irish eyes are smiling, sure it's like the morning spring, and the lips are you can hear the angels sing. When Irish hearts are happy, all the world seems bright, yeah. And when Irish should I stay? In the Irish you can hear the angels sing. And when do they sing?
At this time, I'd like to open things up for any of you that would like to share some thoughts or some stories about Virginia.
Thank you, Bill. That obituary said half of my notes. I want to thank everybody for being here today. really appreciate it. I know you all love my mom. You all knew her. She was a pretty exceptional person at a lot of levels. I know some of you have come from really a long way away too, just to be here. As you know, my mom started out life in Muskegon in 1923 and passed a century later. It's always too soon. She met my dad in kindergarten and dated him in high school. And while he was a paratrooper in the South Pacific, as you know from the obit, my mom worked at SEAL Power, helping the war effort as Rosie the Riveter. Mom and dad married, and when they returned, they moved to Lansing College at Michigan State. The dad walked on the field. He was a pretty fair football player and ended up not only making the team, but earning a starting position at Michigan State, which isn't really a weak team. And he played baseball there as well. After college, mom and dad moved to New York City. He played for the New York Yankees football and baseball programs. From there, they returned to Muskegon, started a family. As you know, mom had 9 kids, and for her whole life, we really felt her love right until the end. Growing up with her was really a lot of fun. She laughed a lot. She never locked our doors. We had some concerns about that, but was always open to all our friends. Mom was kind. Those of you who know her, she was smart, she was beautiful, she was compassionate, and she was really generous. Whether she had her time or money, she was really generous with that. Our dad passed away at 44, leaving mom to raise us 9 kids. Wasn't always easy. My brothers could really be stinkers, not me, but my brothers, as she called us. She was an amazing role model. One of the many examples, and there's many, that speaks to her character, happened in the winter of 1952. Some of you might not even been born then, but she had just delivered twin babies. They were number 3 and number 4, twin girls named Carolyn and Corrine, Carrie as we called it. And they were born premature, very premature, and tragically, Corrine passed at birth. I was only about 6 at the time, and I witnessed their doctor coming over to our house, and he had a clipboard and he had papers on it. And he wanted my mom and dad to sign it. And what those papers would do is allow Carrie to be admitted to a special health care facility. And this would care for children with special needs like she did. And the doctor also said, she's not going to make it, but 2 or 3 days. Kids like this with these kind of complications don't. But anyway, he handed the clipboard, I saw this, to my mom, and she said, no, I'm not signing it. My dad said, I'm not signing it either. And they said, have her for 2 or 3 days. We are going to come by the hospital, pick her up, take her home, and give her a mama's dad's blood for the 2 or 3 days we have her. Turns out to be 33. And I think to this day, she wouldn't have made it more than 3 or 4 days if mom and dad had signed those papers. So anyway, Carrie, she has special needs, but she brought us in our family endless joy and touched the hearts of the many that knew her. Mom pretty much dedicated her life selflessly and to her care. One of my best friends, Mike Bonneville, once told me, I learned a lot about compassion by watching your mom care for your sister. My sisters, Colleen, Chris, my brothers, Dan, Blair, Rick, our awesome wives, our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren, they all contributed to mom's health and well-being the best they could. And we knew she wanted to live independently for her whole life. She didn't want to go to a nursing home. So that's what they all did. That's what we all did to try and make her life a good life. But I got this brother, Scott. And he was there for her the whole time. He made a lot of sacrifices, but I never heard him once complain. And he made her life much more secure, comfortable, and pretty exceptional, like she was as a woman. He was her companion, her caregiver, her son. He attended to all her needs. And one time I asked him about that, how hard it was, and he said it was a privilege to take care of it. And the last several years, our brother Rex moved in from Georgia and was able to help out Scott. And together they allowed my mom to live independently right to the end. She always loved and spoke of her brothers, Bud, Bob, and Ken. Ken's here today. But her best friend was her sister Betty, who sadly predeceased her a few years ago. And my mom missed her really bad right to the end. My mom also had a close, unwavering relationship with God. So I've got this picture in my mind of her with her great smile, being with the dad, my brother Larry, and the twins, and wondering why we are all so sad. Anyway, Davis, and for touching our family and our friends gathered here. You're a perfect example of the greatest generation and what we should all be. Thanks. And thanks, Dale, for your wonderful job.
I'm not as eloquent as my brother Steve is, and he's probably a hard act to follow. I have some notes I kind of threw together, so you have to bear with me. But off the cuff, I'll add to Steve's story about my sister, Jerry, and my mother and her care for my sister. My sister would have convulsions that would last like anywhere from 10 minutes to half hour at times when she was younger, before newer medication kind of helped some of that, but she always had these convulsions. I remember one time my mom had us all sit around her, and while my mom was opening the airways or whatever, and she said to me, and I always stuck, she says, by the grace of God, it could be anyone, yes. So that's what kind of taught us to be humble, caregivers. So just want to add that in there. But thanks everybody for coming, for being here. It just doesn't seem real to me. We all thought that mom would be here forever. But we finally lost mom. Some of us lost Grams. And all likely we lost the most wonderful person that we've ever known. She was just an amazing human being. So loving and giving, so simple, so pure. Yet there's no words that I know of that are adequate enough to describe her. And there's no words that can ease the loss that we all share here today. I think we're all sad here this morning because the world's a much sadder place without Virginia Sieradzki in it. She was our bright light. She graced this earth for 100 years and deeply touched every one of us and countless people with her kindness, generosity, and goodness. Mom devoted her entire life to her loved ones and being always available. She would never ask for anything. She would never say no. She was just totally selfless. For those of you that don't know the circumstances of her passing, I'll share a little of that with you. She was really starting to slow down the past few weeks. She was eating less and less and sleeping more and more. But she was never in any pain. She was just very tired. And she just never complained. But I don't think she complained her whole life. We never heard her complain. She was just very content to watch her TV shows like MASH and The Golden Girls. And she'd drink her her chocolate milk like it's going out of style, she'd say. And I was very honored to take care of her. I felt so blessed to be with her every single day. She was my best friend, and I enjoyed every minute of our time together. You know, I loved my mama. So we had our little rituals, like when I'd walk into the living room and, I was always nervous walking in because you just never know, so I was a little loud and I'd walk in and, hey, mama. And she'd jump up and always say, you scared the daylights out of me. She didn't know that was my plan. But then she would always ask me every time, can I get you anything, honey? Really, 99 years and still wanting to do for others. Another ritual throughout all the years, every night when we would tuck mom into bed, I'd kiss her on the forehead and say, well, mama, you made it through another day. She'd always smile and close her eyes. And sometimes she'd even say, yes, we did. I wasn't going to say this, but I added it to it. For last night, I tossed and turned in bed and woke from a dream where my dad was standing a bit away near a bridge, and he was pacing a little bit. He had this big old smile on his face, and he motioned with both hands like this. I shared this with my sister and brother next morning. Dream faded quickly, but I remember it as a very happy dream. It gave me strength. So next morning, the morning of mom's passing, family gathered by her bedside and she took her last breath. Around that time, her granddaughter Stephanie quietly said, we had her for almost 100 years, and that wasn't nearly enough. How true. And then we shared a special moment together when mom's great grandson, baby Brooks, being held by Josh, waved and blew kisses at mom. I understand that Brooks only waves when someone says bye-bye, and he only blows kisses when someone says, I love you. So we like to believe that through Brooks, Grams was saying to all of us, bye-bye, I love you. Well, we love you too, Mom. But I need to take a quick second to thank Rex for all he did for Mom. 2 years ago, he moved in from Atlanta to help out, and as her health declined, he would just step it up and do that much for her. He was really a rock star for us. I also want to thank my girls for all their love and support, which kept me going, and all the special things they did for Mom. I also want to thank Ava for her vigilance on cleaning the house and keeping us fed once in a while. And of course, my sister Chris, who would stop by frequently, regularly, just to hold Mom's hand and to share stories with her. So let's not be sad any longer for Virginia Carolyn Sieradzki, our sweet and loving mom and grandma and friend to all of us. We should feel happy and joyous for her. Our tears of sadness should become tears of joy as we celebrate her today. Mom passed peacefully into heaven, is now finally reunited after 55 years with her loving husband, Steve, and her children, Larry, Carrie, and Corrine. Great God Almighty, we thank you for the great life you gave her. and blessing us with her presence throughout all these years. She was simply magnificent. She was our angel on this earth. Now she's our angel in heaven. Until we are all together again. Love you, Mama.
Thanks for coming out, everybody. I mean, wow. 1923. 2023. Pretty impressive. These numbers aren't as important as the dash. Those numbers only represent the beginning and the end. The dash is our journey, our whole life. Virginia Carolyn Sieradzki had the most impressive dash I've ever seen. Not just because of its length, but what she did with her dash. We all have so many things that we remember about her. I'll bet every one of you. Your memories of her are positive, loving again. So, I had a health event this summer. I had a close friend who was always by my side and told me something I'll never forget. He said, Rex, you're still teaching your kids. I didn't know what it meant. I think he meant we teach our kids how to live and how to. Don was a teacher. He taught compassion her whole life. To me, her compassion was contagious geometrically. When you touch someone like she did, this kindness just spreads and spreads. This leads me to talk about my hero, my brother Scott. 9 years of dedication. I witnessed so many things that he did that I don't think any of us could match. Ever asking for an attaboy. He never did. He was so dedicated and he learned so much about compassion as a teacher. He would be there at least 3 times a day, no matter what. His truck broke down one winter. Still walks 3 times a day. It's a mile to take care of her, to make sure she was okay. He had a back injury, so he barely stand on his feet, but he still would be there for him no matter what. I miss seeing him pull in. Every day he'd pull into the drive. So I look so forward to it. I'd be so down. He was always up. It's a repeat. He'd come in and greet her with a cheerful, "Hey, mama, beautiful day. Let's go for a ride," or "Let's get up and we'll get some exercise." I call them Scottisms and really miss them. He always would take care of all of his other obligations, but make it back in the evening. He was there 3 hours with his company and put her to bed. I sometimes say the privilege of being his assistant and helping her to bed. After a kiss and tucking her in, I say, "We love you." And he'd say, "Behave yourself." Joy smiled and said, "That's no fun." So I decided to do something different to finish my little thing, dedication. All the siblings had a thing we call momisms. For you guys, it's Ginnyisms. Steve, Rick, Dan, Colleen, Scott, me. So it was kind of our thing. When one of us remembered one, it was fun to call or mention it. Next time we saw him, it was heartwarming with their spirits. So I kept a journal on these. So I'm going to open my book and randomly read this beautiful. It's going to pass on the ones that'll make me break down. So
Mom is. So these are just some things that she said. What are you doing, Mom? Just sitting on my wrinkly old butt. And she'd say I look like a ragamuffin. There's a million, but I look like a freak from Battle Creek. People, girlfriends say, it's Battle Creek. Metaphorically, you listen to me, I'm bigger than you. And nice and spring is running. Somebody will say, Mom, can you get me, or can I get you anything? I'm solid. You always say that. I'd say, Mom, where are you going? Crazy, you want to come along? I'm gonna crank up my hair. I cooked enough for Coxie's army. Who's Coxie? We finally had to look it up. Hopefully on you. I'm skipping so many, but well, I'll be darned. Oh, flush you down the toilet. If that's the worst thing that happens. Oh, you're full of prunes. We didn't understand. Talked with my brother Rick this morning and on the phone, and he said, Rex, thanks for holding down the fort. Rick, it's another momism. Should I say that? Oh, this is a good one. I don't know if any of you guys all remember this. It was probably just me, but Rex, you'd forget your head if it weren't attached to your shoulders. And the one about smiling. Smile. Oh, I can't do this. You forgot to smile. Oh, this is the best. We'd have girlfriends over or anybody, but she'd try to feed everybody. And the girlfriends would come over and meet her and feed them and say, just try it. Hair on your chest. It's like, Mom, they'll be like, ah. Oh, she did tell me, I'm almost done. My 100th birthday, we're all going to Las Vegas. Oh, she was 90. Oh, I want to say my kids usually try to give something for Lent. You know, I got bad from I know probably a lot of people, but I can't just speak for me on lots of things. I gave up everything. Brad, it's oh no. But you just say Jesus gave up his life for us. We can give something up for him. It's so true. And just oh, this towards the end, just a couple, and then I'll share a little advice. At the end, I remember saying, she's almost a million years old. I'll tell her, you need any money? Can I help you? Just grab a butt, plop down. Rex, zip up your jacket. Are you warm enough? I said, I gotta go to work. You don't have to go, it can wait. So a couple things I learned, I don't know about geriatrics. One of the nicest things you can do for the elderly, put a blanket or a shawl in the dryer for 5 to 10 minutes, then wrap them up in it. You see the expression. What a simple gift. The last one, the elderly need purpose too. A reason to get up in the morning. We all do. What helped Mom is being a giving person with allowing her to help with a chore, for giving gifts or advice. She would love to say, oh, you want some popcorn, even though she couldn't eat it. But her generosity kept her going, and thanks so much for everything you do. Oh, stop it. This picture of my mom and dad in kindergarten at what's it called? Hackley. Remember downtown.
I don't know how you could do all.
Um, My name is Alan John Mermel, as Ginny used to affectionately call me. She had a nickname for everybody. She knew all of our names. She took us all in. I was one of those kids that, in addition to her own family, that she loaded up that station wagon with, she took all the rest of us too. I remember going over, Dan was my best friend. I grew up across the street from the Sieradzki family. And going over there, I was at the Sieradzki home just about every day. And there was always a spread of food out. She'd always welcome you. She'd always give you a hug or always something nice to say. They say that there's no greater joy in life than having kids. She had 9 wonderful kids. I salute you all. And the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Also, they say it takes a village to raise a child. And Ginny was always part of that village to raise so many of us. She was always there for us, always remembered us all. And how you guys got up here and talked like that without crying, I don't know. But I just want to say thank you to Ginny because she taught me so much. I think the biggest thing in my life is being a father, being a grandfather. She taught me how to be a dad because her home was welcome. All of us were welcome. She taught us how to love, and I learned a lot from her. And I think so many of us kids that were friends with the Sieradzki kids went over there and say, geez, I wish my mom and dad were like this, because it was such a nice place to be. And I just want to say thank you, and thank you to all of you, because you've brought so much touched so many people in so many ways in our lives too. So thank you, Ginny. Thank you to everybody.
Oh my goodness, what a privilege it is to be here today. And I just want to thank Virginia for giving me the opportunity to be at her house Saturday after Saturday after Saturday, watching Carrie. And she was an amazing person. It was so fun to be with her. She just was such a joy. And she gave me such confidence in being able to take care of her daughter. And I came from, a Christian family, but they were very quiet, very, very, very reserved. And it was so good for me to see the light of God in such an exciting woman. It was just fun. And I think what I remember the most is getting in her car, with Carrie. And I was always a little concerned about her maybe having a seizure, when we were, driving. And she bought a cottage, and I want to say it was on Westlake. And the first time we went there, I mean, I was like, oh my goodness, how is she going to fix this up? This woman is amazing. And she did, because I know the kids probably spent time there. I think it was Westlake. Was that right? Okay, little sliver. Yeah. So I just, and on behalf of my sisters, I think it was kind of, it was with Dan who started with Carrie, and then my sister Ellen, who was next, and then myself. And I remember how exciting it was to get $6 at the end of that day. And it was so fun to watch her cook, because I mean, she had these great big pans just full of goulash, and she just, people were in and out of the house all the time. And everyone has said, she just was a light. And everyone, you always go down there and you go, wow, there's a lot of comments here. And I remember went to school with Dan. Dan is a year younger than I, and he was running for the president of his class. And as we were in Steel School, and it was 8th grade. And I was his campaign manager, which was pretty exciting, fun making signs. But his father passed away during that time. And I remember, what a difficult time that was, remembering being at the home and the people that were, in and out and Virginia being able to. So I just want to thank you guys for sharing your mom with me and the lessons that she taught me about people of God can have a lot of fun. And it can be an exciting time. So I was really blessed.
Hi, I'm Joe Potter. Um, she was never Mrs. Sieradzki to me. She was always Jenny. And I remember always telling me that she loved me. I knew she really did. And I probably stayed with almost every member of the Sieradzki family, worked with a bunch of them, and stayed at their house, ate their food. She always had a place for me to stay, food for me to eat, and I loved her dearly.
The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. They comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, and my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. There's a poem that I'd like to read that kind of came to mind and fits in after listening to Steve and the boys talk. I am standing upon the seashore, and I see a nearby ship spread its white sails in the morning breeze and start for the blue ocean. She is only a speck of white cloud just where the sea and the sky meet and mingle. And then someone at my side exclaimed, "She's gone." Gone where? Gone from my sight. That is all she is. She's just as large in hull and mast and spar as she was when she departed. She's just as able to bear her load of living freight to the place of her destination. Her diminished size. And just at that moment, when someone cries, "She's gone," there are other eyes watching for her arrival. And shout, "Here she comes." And I think that's how we can think of Ginny right now. She left here. She left here, but she's not gone. She's just in another place with others. Who shouted, "Here she comes." In closing, I ask you to please bow your heads with me and for this final blessing. May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be always at your back and the sunshine warm upon your face. And the rains fall soft upon your fields, and until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of your hand. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. And may the Lord look upon you with favor and give you peace. Amen. And as we leave today, I'd like you to remember the words of one of my favorite philosophers, Dr. Seuss, who said, "Don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened." Thank you all for coming today. At the close of this service, we're going to dismiss from the back, give you a chance to come up past the casket to say goodbye to Ginny one last time. And I want to let you know there is a reception following in our family center. And please join the family there for a time of fellowship and refreshment and continue sharing stories. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you for being a friend. Travel down the road and back again. Your heart is true. You're a pal and a con. And it's true. You the biggest gift for me. That's what they make you be afraid. There'll be blue over the white cliffs of Dover. Tomorrow, just you wait and see. There'll be love and peace ever after. Tomorrow, when the world is free, the shepherd will tend his sheep. The valley will bloom again, and Jimmy will go to sleep in his arms again. There'll be blue the white green. Tomorrow, just you wait and see. The shepherd will tend his sheep. The valley will bloom again, and Jimmy will go to sleep. Again, there'll be white cliffs of Dover. Tomorrow, Just you wait. I see.
Took the supermarket flyers from the windowsill to the day old tea from the cup. Backed up the photo album Matthew had made, memories of a life that's been loved. Took the get well soon cars and stuffed animals. Poured the old ginger beer down the sink. Dad always told me, don't you cry when you're down. But Mum, there's a tear every time that I blink. Oh, I'm in pieces, it's tearing. No, a heart that's broke is a heart that's been loved. So I'll sing hallelujah. You were an angel in the shape of my mom. When I fell down, you'd be there holding me up. Spread your wings as you go. When God takes you back, say hallelujah, you're home. Fluffed the pillows, made the bed, stacked the chairs up. Folded your nightgowns neatly in a cake. John said he'd drive, then put his hand on my cheek and wiped a tear from the side of my face. And I hope that I see the world as you did, 'cause I know a life with love is a life that's been lived. So I'll sing hallelujah. You are an angel in the shape of my mom. When I fell down, you'd be there holding me up. Spread your wings as you go. When God takes you back, say hallelujah. Hallelujah. You are an angel in the shape of my mom. You got to see the come, spread your wings, and I know when God took you back, he said, hallelujah, you're home. Window down and throw, and you need a helping hand, and nothing, oh, nothing, no, close your eyes, and soon I will be there, brighten even your darkest night. You just call my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running. Oh, yeah. See you again. If the spring, summer, or fall, all you got to do is call, and I'll be there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You got a friend. If the sky above you to turn dark and full of clouds, and that old north wind just begin to blow. Your head together and call my name out loud now. I'll be knocking upon your door. You just call my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running. Oh, yes, I will see you again. Spring, summer, or fall, yeah. All you got to do is call, and I'll be there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It ain't good to know that you got a friend. People can be so cold. They'll hurt you and desert you. Well, they'll take your soul if you let them. Oh, yeah, but don't you let them. Just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come on. See you again. Oh, baby, don't you know about winter, spring, summer, or fall? Hey, now all you got to do is call. Lord, I'll be there. Yes, I will. Got a friend. You got a friend. Ain't it good to know you got a friend? Ain't it good to know you got a friend? Oh, yeah, yeah. You got a friend.
I'll remember you long after this and the summer is gone. I'll be lonely, oh so lonely, living only to remember you. I'll remember you. Your voice is soft as the warm summer breeze. Your sweet mornings after, ever after. I'll remember you. to your arms someday. I'll return to stay till I every bright song we made wishes upon. Love me always, promise always. Ooh, you'll remember too. I remember you. Oh, great, great. Over the rainbow, way up high. Dreams and dream of once in my love. Goodbye. I know somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly. Feel that you dream of, you will be come true. Someday, ship on the star, wake up where the clouds are far behind. Be where trouble feels like raining down, high above the chimney top, that's where you find me somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly. You that you did to for why can't I see trees of green and red roses too. I watch them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The lassie skies are blue and I see clouds are white and the brightness of day. I like the dark and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky. How someone's face it, of people passing by. See friends shaking and singing, how do you do? They really sing, I love you. I baby sky and I watch them go. they'll learn much more when we'll go. To myself, what a wonderful world.